Genetic diseases and wellness. Genetic diseases and wellness affects an estimated 12 million Americans. How genetics affects overall wellness is a topic that often is seen in patients who are healthy in their habits, however are considered to have less than perfect wellness due to a hereditary disease. These genetic conditions are no fault of the individual. However, they do affect the physical wellness of a person. In some people's cases, the genetic diseases or disorders also affects their emotional and occupational wellness as well. In most recent years, more and more of these diseases are being not only talked about in the medical community, but also in the lay community as well. Not just talked about either. They are also being studied, tested, and treated as possible in the medical community. Because of these things occurring, the over 12 million Americans suffering from these many different genetic diseases or disorders are finding out about their diseases faster, or just simply finding out that they have one. Therefore, genetic testing is impacting these people by earlier detection at all, and educating them as to what they have and what can be done, thus allowing them in many cases to overcome their disease or disorder and live not only a full life, but a successful one too. Based on my research, when individuals are well educated about their genetic predispositions, they are able to achieve higher levels of wellness by addressing their genetic issues. Researchers are now finding that social wellness can also be affected by genetic diseases, by inhibiting meaningful relationships, by causing major depression, or even some types of depression are the genetic disease or disorder themselves, such as bipolar disorder, which is a chemical imbalance determined by our genes. Genetic diseases and disorders can greatly impact overall emotional wellness by being the direct genetic disease or disorder, or be an inadvertent side effect from another. In either case, a person's emotional state is altered or affected. Physical wellness is the most impacted of the categories of wellness by genetic diseases, due to most genetic diseases cause some sort of physical impairment, such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, cerebral palsy, Lou Gehrig's, and myasthenia gravis, just to name some of the many known diseases, all of which can ultimately affect a person's ability to participate in what is considered to be healthy activities and or exercise. As we all know, this ultimately leads to not only decreased muscle tone and strength, but at some point atrophy and myopathy of the muscles. Because of this, their emotional and social wellness are changed as well. Financial wellness can also be severely impacted by the cost involved in treating these genetic diseases and the disabling factor of many genetic diseases or disorders, making it impossible sometimes to work or even hold just steady employment. While thousands of many different genes or genetic markers for the countless genetic diseases and disorders have been found and a test made to check for them, there are multiple new tests being developed every year to try and find the genes and markers that tell us more quickly we have a certain genetic issue. Also, tests just to tell us at an earlier stage that we have one of these genetic diseases, allowing us for more time to treat it or slow down the disease, as they do not have a cure for any of them yet. Some tests are trying to cure these genetic diseases. All of these tests cost money. To expound on that, just some. Each test, just to even bring it to the market for doctors to be able to start checking for these diseases, has already cost you and I billions of dollars through government grants and subsidies. Then, once the general public is able to be tested, it costs us again anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars just to find out if we even have the disease. Then we get into the medications that would be prescribed, most of which are either not covered by insurance or are covered very little. And the medication companies know this, and they also know that you and I, who have the disease or disorder, have to have the medication for the disease or disorder. So they may or may not mark up the price, thus creating a profit for themselves. We also know that some of the medication and testing companies are probably working together or are the same company, thus creating an even larger profit. But if I keep going, I'll get on a soapbox, so we'll leave that one alone. While there are links between several diseases and our environment, or the food we eat, or even the water we drink, there is no one cause to any one disease. As with asthma, which I live with in my house every single day, we know that secondhand smoke plays a role in the development of asthma, but so does the air we breathe or the chemicals in our homes and furniture. There have been several studies over the years, and with more pollutants in the air every year, childhood asthma increases just the same as the pollutants. As the pollutants, sometimes the asthma increases more. My point is that no matter the disease, there is no one cause from us or the environment. Kind of in closing, the goal of medicine, and especially genetic medicine, is to eventually be able to know you, your disease or illness, and give you one drug to take care of it. Basically, catered medicine or known medicine to you and I. The debatable reason for this is to reduce the overall side effects from the medications on the body and its organs. I say debatable because it's not known if this reduction will even take place, or if it's the true reason behind genetic testing and genetic medicine. They also want to be able to cure diseases of all types, be it inherited or acquired. Then we get into prenatal testing and treatment. It is also the eventual and controversial goal of medicine to be able to both treat or test and treat babies for several different diseases. You may know it, and I know it as designer baby. There are several studies currently trying to detect an entire genome of a family and be able to check for any and all of the diseases or disorders a newborn may have, and the likelihood that the child will develop some kind of disease in its lifetime, and are debating that this would ultimately ensure our prodigy to be healthy and happy, or would it? I leave it to you to decide.